If you're coming on the subway, it's the A or the C. Or coming down Broadway, the 1, 2, or 3. Jump off at the 72nd Street stop. From there, Central Park is just a real short hop through strawberry fields. Head on up to the lake where 1,000 New Yorkers are taking a break. Come on along, I'll see you on Sunday. Come by yourself, or bring your little honey. Lay down in the shade or hang out where it's sunny. You got it made, cause you don't need any money when the people on the hill are singing in Central Park. Roger Bartlett! Mr. Ron Sunshine. Come on along, I'll see you on Sunday. Come by yourself, or bring your little honey. Lay down in the shade or hang out where it's sunny. You got it made, cause you don't need any money when the people on the hill are singing in Central Park. Hey, Jeff Van Nostrand! Play anything from folk to rock and roll. I've been stomping my foot so long I'm digging a hole. But I'll tell you what I've decided to do. If you keep showing up, then I will too. Come on along, I'll see you on Sunday. Come by yourself, or bring your little honey. Sit down in the shade or hang out where it's sunny. You got it made, cause you don't need any money when the people on the hill are singing in Central Park. Dodger, take it again. All right. I used to go against the wind, but that's no way to fly. Flapping my wings, I get no place, no matter how hard I try. But when I just give in and go to where the blowing breeze has planned, you know I find a better place wherever I might land. Some people fly in circles, crying life is so unfair. Convinced that if they're over here, all the good stuff must be over there. Not me, I know there's a vein of gold right where I stand, and I find that if I look wherever I might land. I was always told, and now I finally found, that when I leap and it appears before I hit the ground, I don't spend one day looking back with regret, cause each bridge I burnt led to a place that I just as soon forget. Yeah, well, some people look back at their glory days so much it makes them cry, and some look ahead with fear and dread to things they'll probably never try. Not me, bring it on, cause whenever I get to wherever I might land. Look at where I landed, in this room with you tonight. No matter what's going on out there, I know it's gonna be alright. 'Cause though it took some time to know, I finally understand that I'm gonna find love wherever I might land. Wherever I might land. Wherever I might land. Wherever I might land. It's dark and it's lonely, and you feel like you're the only one who's felt this desperation, like your own brand of the blues. It's hell when you're in there, I can tell you 'cause I've been there, and I've known the same frustration. But I've got some real good news. You feel like you fell in a well of hopelessness and fear. So why the hell would I jump in and join you way down here? 'Cause there's a way out of here, though you don't believe that's true. But years ago, a friend showed me just like I'm showing you. You can sit here in the darkness till you think that you're okay. But then it's time to move, 'cause I'm not making plans to stay. There's a way. Think no one understands you. You're so convinced life hands you one bad break after another and keeps you on the floor. But now you've got the choice to keep on listening to those voices, or maybe listen to a brother who's been down here before. We can sit and curse the darkness, but the darkness stays the same. Or get off your ass and we'll go out the same way that I came. 'Cause there's a way out of here, though you don't believe that's true. But years ago, a friend showed me just like I'm showing you. It's hard to see what's possible when you feel this way. But things look so much clearer standing in the light of day. There's a way. Here, but it's gonna be up to you to show someone else that exit door just like I'm showing you. You can sit and curse the darkness, but the darkness stays the same. Or get off your ass and we'll go out the same way that I came. 'Cause there's a way.
Hey guys, I can tell you this, just as we're beginning this, the sky has opened up and we might get interrupted by a dramatic clap of thunder as we're doing this thing. It's one of those spectacular summer thunderstorms out there right now. But you know what, let's do this. I'm just gonna say this, if you're watching on Facebook, I can see your chat now. It's the restream thing that Brandon set up is functioning right now. So I can see what you guys are saying. And, but if it gets glitchy, I pinned the comment with the link to YouTube, where I think most people are, but you can actually chat among yourselves in both of them. You can, you know, at the end, what we'll do is, if you prefer watching on Facebook, hang out on Facebook. If you prefer the chat room in YouTube, hang out in YouTube. And then after this pandemic is over, we'll have a big picnic and we'll have a tug of war between Facebook and YouTube. Cool? Let me just do this. Let's get this going because I really want to get to it today. Today is, it's one of those days that, I'm not big on commemorating anniversaries and birthdays, and you know, I have my own concepts about time, but some days are just wonderful, and we're gonna have some fun today. Also, there are some people I know that have never done this with us before, that have never hung out. Some of you have been here for dozens and dozens of these gigs, but there are several people who are here for the first time. So. If you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, either way, you know that our version of singing along, like we can't, like in Central Park, I play a song, a cover song or one of my songs, and we all just get up and dance and we sing, and you know, during this situation, we can't do that. So, what we do here is we chat along. And you don't have to chat the whole song. Just if a line speaks to your heart, or if it's one of your favorite lines, just chat it with me. But be sure that you're really singing at your computer. This is kind of our theme song during this pandemic. Let's just get to it. And then as people join, when I'm sure that everybody's here, we'll start having a little birthday party for a very dear, sweet friend, all right? This is one of those songs that I wrote, and I've said it a million times. Even though I wrote this song, I really like it. Chat it with me, all right? You said you woke up feeling frightened, senses heightened, overwhelmed, lost and alone, a little overwrought until you finally thought that you'd drop it all and pick up the phone. And I didn't do nothing but really listen to everything you had to say, till I knew that you'd be okay. Next week it was my turn. I was in a slow burn about something or nothing at all. I don't even remember, but I remember I was hurting, so I gave you a call. And you didn't do nothing but really listen to everything I had to say, till you knew that I'd be okay. Chat it. We take turns being angels for one another. 'Cause there's never been a day when we all want to stay under the covers. It's been close. We're all just lucky that it works that way. And thank heaven we're not all crazy on the same day. Light up the chat room. It's just us. And in the back of a taxi, I heard talk radio, one of those shows people call when they want to know what life's about. A big fat mouth was at a mic going on and on about who's out to get you if you don't watch out. It's funny, but the phony probably makes a lot of money to create a little panic every day. But I think I found a better way. We take turns being angels for one another, 'cause there's never been a day when we all want to stay under the covers. So good to see you guys here. We're all just lucky that it works that way. Thank heaven we're not all crazy on the same day. Willie, up in Maine, it's your line, brother. I love that Willie's up in Maine, and that's his line. We take turns being angels for one another, 'cause there's never been a day when we all want to stay under the covers. We're just damn lucky that it works that way. And thank heaven we're not all crazy on the same day. If Karen is here, chat some harmony on the same day. You too pretty, Denise. We're not crazy, crazy on the same day. La-dum, da-dum, da-dum, dum. Very cool. You know what? I was, let me put my glasses on so I can see actually who's in the chat room right now and make sure that this thing is working. See, Brandon's finally, look at that, Brandon's in on the song. I don't see, actually this is just for Brandon. If you guys, if you're new here, when I reference Brandon, he is the wizard behind the curtain. He's in Detroit, but Brandon is the guy that that is actually he has the controls like the wizard, right? And so when I speak to him, I'm actually talking to the guy like in the control room, even though he's in Detroit. And I'm just going to tell him, Brandon, right now, I don't see that anybody. I don't know that the Facebook chat is integrating into integrating into the restream, but it doesn't matter. I pinned a comment over in Facebook and said, hey guys, if you want to sit at the cool kids table, you head over to YouTube where you guys are. Jeff is here. Yes, this is the PSG. This is the Possibility Support Group. If you are a possibility junkie, if possibilities are actually more fascinating to you than the actual event, then you're in the right place. And we're going to celebrate. One of the original possibility junkies. In fact, a sweet friend who is one of the reasons that that phrase even came to be. I invented it, but it was because of you guys and because of this particular man whose birthday is today. But before we get into that, I wanted to show you guys some of the things that are possible today. But while we do this, in fact, you know what we'll do first? While people are signing on, can we do the global breath now? And then a song, and then I'm going to share a video with you guys. But let's do the global breath now. For anybody that's new, right now there are people here from all across the country. There are, I mean, seriously, from all across the country, and I don't know. I'll have to look to see if Cheetah and Angelique, they're two regulars that show up almost every single gig, and they're in the Netherlands. Chris is in Leicester, England. He shows up very often now that we have the 4 o'clock start here in New York, because it's not like a million o'clock there. Rodrigo is in Spain. There are people, Jan's relatives are in Estonia. There's usually a bunch of people across the ocean, but Andrea is in California right now. Willie, I said, is in Maine. We've got Carolina here. We've got West Virginia. We've got Pennsylvania. Hi, Lori. Debbie is here. Debbie, I've got something special that I want to share a little bit later on when we really get into it. But let's do the global breath. And all that is that when we get this thing going, I don't care where you are, it's a global pandemic. The surrealism is all over the fucking place. It's around the planet. So just, you know, everybody does the breathe in light and breathe out, you know, but this is just fun for me, and it just centers me. I love to breathe with you guys. So what we do is this. I'm going to count to 3, and when I count to 3, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and everybody breathes. Deep inhale and exhale, right? But technically, and Brandon could explain this better than me, but technically, I am like 30 seconds in the future because of the delay and because of the technology. So, but I want to get to breathe with you guys actually in real time. So what we do is this. Everybody, don't hit enter, just type the word breathe, okay? Don't hit enter in the chat room yet. Just type the word breathe. And then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and everybody's going to go, and when you take that breath, that's when you you enter the word, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until I see the word. That way I know that I'm actually taking a breath with people across the Atlantic Ocean, with people on the other side of this continent, all across the country, okay? So let's do that on the count of 3. You guys get the word typed, right? Okay. And then you take a breath. Ready? And hit the button when you breathe. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm just watching to see when everybody breathes, and I'm going to breathe with you, okay? Thank you, guys. Honest to God, you have no idea how good that feels, knowing that you're all breathing together at the same time, and I just did it with you. So let's do this. I have one thought that I want to share with you before we get into the birthday celebration. But first, let me do this song, and while we're doing this song, it's another tradition for anybody that's new. In fact, if you're new here, just say, this is my first time, all right? But during this next song, every single person, whether you've been here or not, just give me your name and where in the world you are. And I'm just going to watch the chat room and see where we are, okay? Where everybody is. It's just kind of fun to know that if I'm doing this, I can't imagine what the kids that got A's are doing. So let's do it. Ready? Hi, Allison. Hey, sweet Sue Hannah. Val is in Chicago, I know that. All right, everybody, let us know where you are. There's Cheetah in the Netherlands. It comes in, whoa, no, here we go. There ain't no use to keep it taking abuse when the news is so unkind. You can hang out with me and some friends that you need who will help you through a troubled time. Just reach on out, show up online, let us know that you're ready to go. There ain't no dues and you can leave your blues behind. Let's have a little peace of mind. Peace, yeah, peace of mind. Elodie is here from France. Hey, what's going on, Elodie? Zoe's in North Carolina. There comes a time you just might find your heart is sinking like a stone. You don't have to pretend that you're not missing your friends and you're starting to feel alone. Just make no mistake, for your very own sake, here's a little thought for now. We can kick off our shoes and let our thoughts be kind. Let's have a little peace of mind. Mike is in the UK. Peace, yeah, peace of mind. Gonna make us feel better. Some folks you find speak a mighty good line. They'll charm you all the way. They'll take you along on a sweet, sweet song and steal your heart away. But blessed be the one who can understand why people have to act that way. 'Cause if I knew, I wouldn't want to say. Let's have a little peace of mind. Yeah. Peace, yeah, peace of mind. Hey, Nancy. Peace, a little peace of mind. All we really want is some You know what the thought is that I wanted to share with you guys? And then I want to share a video that a lot of you are in, our own little public service announcement. But I wrote a song, back in the 1990s. Probably 1997, which is getting to be a long fucking time ago. But you guys probably know, I've shared this, every single morning that I get up, I start the coffee and I write. I do something that a friend and colleague, somebody I don't know really well, an acquaintance, wrote a book about. And it's just a practice called the morning pages. And I've done them every morning for 27 years now. And this morning when I was writing, something came up. And it was something that I just thought, and I don't usually share what's in the pages, because it's just between me and me. But this morning, it reminded me of a song that I wrote. Hurry back, Debbie. You're gonna miss the beautiful thought. No, but it's just simply this, and you guys probably all know this stuff, and you know I'm probably late catching up to the party. But this morning I was writing, and it just said, David, today is not a bridge to tomorrow. Like these moments, what we're doing right now, is not something we do before the rest of our life happens. these online hangs, these songs, these experiences, what I'm doing right now, this is not something to get us through the pandemic so that we can get back to our lives. That's not what this is. This is not a way to get through something to get to our lives, whatever, normal or... What this is my life. These moments, these songs, these hangs, these days, this show, this hang, is not something we do to get through this so that we can get back to our lives. This is our life right now. This is my life right now. So I wanted to sing this song that I wrote. Then we'll share a fun video, and then we'll get to the birthday celebration, all right? Unwelcomed clouds appear in every sky. One may even shed a tear before it drifts on by. Raining harsh realities, raining fear and doubt, until an unexpected breeze blows through to let the sun come out. Don't let it hold you back. You've got too much to give. Don't let it hold you back. You've got a life, it's yours to live. And when your day gets rained upon, have faith that cloud will soon be gone, and you won't let it hold you back. It's like, sometimes on a rainy day and somebody says, "Damn, do you think it's gonna stop raining?" My answer is, well, it always has. All of us have got our own struggles to get through. It helps to know you're not alone. There's someone else who's just like you, but someone who has been there, so they understand that sometimes to just hang in there, we all need a helping hand. Don't let it hold you back. The choice is always yours. When things are looking black, doors open where there were no doors. And when your sky starts turning gray, just keep showing up for every day, and you won't let it hold you back. Live each day, for goodness sake. Let's take the steps we need to take, and we won't let it hold us back. Live each day, for goodness sake. Do the things, take the steps you need to take, and we won't let it hold us back. One of the steps we need to take, for the love of anything you think is holy, is to wear a fucking mask in public, socially distant until we have a vaccine. Just, be smart. Don't be crazy. Don't be afraid. Don't be terrified. Just do the things we need to do, and we'll get through this. We'll live this. All right. I was saying to my friend. Actually, I was saying to Jeff, who is in the. He's a theater producer, so his job is to produce, is to create things, theater, wonderful things. And I was saying to him what I've said to so many people, in a situation like this, guys. Shitty people will find new ways to be shitty. And selfish people are going to find new ways to be selfish. Mean people, just go to Twitter. Mean people are finding all new ways to be mean. But nice people are finding new ways to be nice. Kind people are creating new ways to be kind. Creative people are finding new ways to be creative. Storytellers are finding new ways to tell stories. And fun people are finding new ways to have fun. Again, that's why I'm so glad. I got a song for you guys later, but you know what? Let's do this as our little public service announcement that you guys, I did this thing live, and then you guys all sent your videos, so let's do this. I also sent it out to Chris Tedesco and George Worsbach and Dan Paccioni, the bass player, and they are three of the best in the business anywhere, so they all sent stuff. So let's do this, and if you see yourself in this video, just say, hey, in all capital letters, hey, that's me. One, two, three, go ahead. Believe it or not, I'm not doing this because I like it. Believe it or not, it's not 'cause somebody told me to. Believe it or not, it's not that I decided not to fight it. Believe it or not, I'm doing this for you. Believe it or not, I'm not making some kind of statement. Believe it or not, I'm not a pillar of society. Believe it or not, it's not for my own entertainment. But whatever you believe isn't up to me. Yeah, you can take it or leave it. I just thought it might be worth a shot. But I don't really care if you believe it or not. Believe it or not, I don't do things 'cause all my friends do. Believe it or not, I'm not a fan of conformity. Believe it or not, I'm not intending to offend you. But whatever burns your ass isn't up to me. Tell 'em, Chris. Believe it or not, it's not the way I would have planned it. Believe it or not, I'm a man who rarely does what he's told to do. Believe it or not, I don't believe you'll even understand it. But believe it or not, I'm doing this for you. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm doing this for you. You know, we're all doing this for you. All right, guys. You know what? I'm just gonna give up on the Facebook chat and the and the restream chat. If you're watching this on Facebook and you want to join the party, I posted the link, so you can just pop over to YouTube. All right, and because I'm just gonna leave that chat up. All right. Drew, that's the first time you saw that video? No kidding. Hey, Richard and Elaine are here from Maryland. That's so cool. It looks like, actually, somebody shoot me in the chat room. Just shoot me a number. How many people are watching on YouTube right now? And how many people are hanging out with us on Facebook? Because it looks like a really small crowd, which is fine, because the name of the gig is It's Just Us, but it is kind of nice when we have like between 70 and 100 people, but it's okay. Okay, listen. If anybody joins us, that's great. If not, it's just us. You guys are all invited to the birthday party. Today is August 12th, and on August 12th, this young kid was born in 1918. His name, he was adopted, and his name was Sidney Bernstein. And look at that confused little face. You never would have guessed that this little child was going to affect the world in the way that he did, and affect so many of our lives. If you knew Sid, a lot of people had my relationship with Sid backwards. Because I'm a musician, I think people thought that, well, David, what can Sid do for you? And that was backwards. It was always what I could do for my friend Sid, and each other. You know, we were friends more than colleagues. But part of my purpose from the day I met Sid was he was in his early 80s when I met him. And he spent the last like 20 years of his life. Actually, no, so then yes, he was probably in his late 70s when I met him. And he spent like the last 15, 20 years of his life with us in Central Park. And he got to know all of you. If you met him, you knew Sid and he was your friend. But you know what? All right, let me do this to tell the story. So I was playing in the park for about 7 years when a man approached me and said, "Do you see that guy who's sitting on the bench over there?" And he points at this man who was really kind of hard to miss. He had the warmest smile and this great head of silver hair. He always seemed to be enjoying the music and the people around him. And I said, "No, I don't know who that is." And he said, "That's Sid Bernstein." And I said, "Who is that, your dentist?" And he said, No, Sid Bernstein. Have you ever seen the posters of the Beatles at Shea Stadium or the tickets of the Beatles at Carnegie Hall? That's Sid Bernstein. He's the guy who brought the Beatles to America. It was his idea to book them in Carnegie Hall before they were even booked on the Ed Sullivan Show. And anybody that knows me knows that the Beatles are one of the most powerful influences in my musical life. So I had to go over and thank him. And I did. And I think one of the first things that Sid ever said to me was, "We ought to have lunch." And from that day forward, we became better friends than I can find words to describe. In fact, Sid became part of the Hill. He became friends with everybody he met. He just became one of the people on the Hill and was there every week, almost every week, until about 2 weeks before he died a few years ago. To me personally, he became that friend that we all have, that friend who leaves the 5-minute voicemail because he forgets that he's talking to a machine. Sid would call me 3-4 times a day sometimes, and he would just go on and on about all the big, wonderful things he planned, his next idea, his next home run, as he would say. One day, I look at my phone and I see that there's a message from Sid, so I click on it, and it wasn't a 5-minute voicemail. This is all he left.
"Hey, David. It's Sid, and it's 9 a.m. Keep hope alive, okay? Keep hope alive."
That voice message just blew me away. And it occurred to me that here's a man who changed history in a very significant way, certainly changed American music forever, and yet had never written a note of music, had never sung a song, So I thought, I'll write a new song. And for the first time, the credits will read music and lyrics by David Ippolito and Sid Bernstein. Now, most of you have heard me tell the story about how I could not write that song until one day I decided to write a song about not being able to write the song. And it's the lyric from which the term possibility junkie was born. So before we do anything else, chat the song with me, okay? Because this is actually the song where the term possibility junkie came from. It's the musical that I wrote. It's the title of the musical that I wrote and because of that musical, I met Jeff Scherzon. I met an awful lot of you guys. Chat this with me, all right? I've got a friend who's like a brother, a possibility junkie just like me. You might say we meet one another between what is and what could be. And though our lives are up in the air, still we talk most every day. Another big dream he needs to share to change this world in some small way. One day, like any other day, I get a message on my telephone. 3 words planted a seed. I could help it along or I could leave it alone. Picked up my axe, started strumming, kicked around a melody. I started humming, I picked up a pen, but the words weren't coming. Weeks went by with nothing to show. I was missing the meaning, miscommunicated messages, philosophy, overcomplicated. Laughing at the musical mess that I created. Maybe I should let it go. And then a lesson I already learned started rolling round my head. Keep it simple, pass it on, just sing the 3 words the man said. He said, keep hope alive, and sing it loud, go chat it. Keep hope alive, 'cause the best is yet to come, my friends. He said, I woke up today, I just had the need to say, keep hope alive. And I've got a friend who's like a brother, a possibility junkie just like me. Hey Paul, what's going on? Hey Kathleen. There's no need to say another word if a message is that clear. So keep it simple, pass it on, and maybe one more heart will hear it. Keep hope alive, and sing it loud, chat it in capitals. Keep hope alive, 'cause the best is yet to come, my friends. We'll never lose another day, just as long as we can say we'll keep hope alive. Keep it alive. Now I'm talking to my friends, my brothers and sisters, possibility junkies just like me. Possibility junkie. So, what does a possibility junkie do? He watches the name of a group go up the charts in England. Then he watches the name of and Sid was a small-time promoter here in New York. He was promoting Latin groups mostly. Tito Puente before he was a name. Just little clubs, little things. But he used to get the international newspapers and he would watch what was going on in Europe. And it wasn't like it is. There was no internet now, right? There were overseas long-distance phone calls were like, tin cans and a string. And so he would get these newspapers and watch what was going on in Europe. And he watched the name of this group go up the charts in England, then go up the charts in Germany, then back in England, and then back in Germany. And he contacted their manager He gave them a long-distance phone call, a guy named Brian Epstein, who at the time was living with his mother. And Sid, he's told me so many stories that we would have to do 5 of these shows, and maybe we will. But just briefly, he gets the idea to bring this band over, and Brian says, well, if I'm going to have the boys come over to the United States, where would they play? And the first place that popped into Sid's head was Carnegie Hall. And Sid didn't know anybody in Carnegie Hall, and he didn't have the money for a deposit to book Carnegie Hall. But he said, yes, Carnegie Hall. And Epstein said, oh, I'm so excited, I can't wait to tell the lads. So they set this thing up. So Sid borrowed $500 from his friend Abe Margulies to book Carnegie Hall for this group. And Carnegie Hall would not have put a rock and roll group in, except for Sid told them that it was a quartet from Liverpool, England. They didn't know what they were getting. So they booked him for 2 shows. And you know, as they say, the rest is history. But Carnegie Hall seats about almost 3,000, 2,800 maybe. And Ed Sullivan actually jumped Sid because Sid's concert was booked for Wednesday. The Beatles showed up before that weekend. Ed Sullivan booked them for that Sunday live. So everybody kind of thinks, oh, the Beatles got off the plane, they did the Ed Sullivan show, and the rest is history. No, actually, it was Sid that brought them here. So I'm going to let Sid tell the story, because, again, what I would do is, back when I was doing podcasting, and I was really bad at it. Actually, I was good at it, I just didn't know what I was doing. I would interview Sid once in a while, because he had so many stories. We would sit in like, the Italian restaurant, Carmine's, or we would sit in Ollie's noodle shop or the hummus place, and Sid would just talk and talk and talk about these stories, and I'd be like, this is gold. Sometimes I would record them. Now, here's Sid in the plaza with the Beatles, the day before, the day they got off the plane, actually, they went to the plaza. So there's Sid sitting with Paul and Ringo and George. Years later, that's him with McCartney. But this is the concert at Shea. Now, there had never been a rock and roll concert in a baseball stadium. It had never been done before. And I'm always talking about how lately, for the past maybe 10 years, I've been exploring the concept that everything in physical reality, even circumstance, originates in thought. I'm not the first, and I don't understand it. My whole life is evidence of it, but it's also very often a confluence, in my experience, of other people's imaginations and thoughts and mind that suddenly formulate a possibility. You guys don't know the name Nathan Posnick. Okay? Nat Posnick. Who the fuck is Nat Posnick? Nat Posnick might have planted the seed for the Beatles at Shea Stadium. I'm going to let Sid tell the story.
At Carnegie Hall, the head of the box office was known as the Dean of Box Office People. Nat Posnick was his name. Nice old gentleman. I would say he was approaching his mid-70s, still active, running the box office at Carnegie Hall. I saw him the morning after I placed the first ad in the New York Times announcing the Beatles coming on January 12th. It was Lincoln's birthday. I chose Lincoln because it would be...
It was February 12th.
February 12th, right. Thank you. February 12th, Lincoln's birthday. I chose that because the kids would be out of school, and the date was available. February 12th. No one expected. And as Nat Posnick, this nice little gentleman, the dean of box office men in New York City, with all the theaters, there's a lot of guys like that, box office guys, but he was known as the man. He later told me, when I showed up and the box office was sold out, nobody knew about putting tickets away for press. The usual thing then was 10 tickets for the 4 or 5 newspapers or radio stations, and that was it, 10 tickets. You gave that to the press in New York. He told me that the box office was cleaned out in about 30 minutes or less. He had 3 people working to get the tickets out. Kids had slept the night over. It was a cold night. He says there were mothers and fathers bringing their kids coffee and blankets. The kids wanted to be first to get the up-front seats, you know. He says, Sid, you could have done not one day. I did 2 shows in that one day. And Carnegie Hall seats 2,830 people at that time, and probably still about the same number, 2,830. He says, you could have done 50 shows. We turned down more people. So when I thought about bringing them back, I changed my mind. I was going to do it at Madison Square Garden. I had discussed that with Brian before he left town after Carnegie Hall. We'd developed a relationship during that exciting day or two that he was here. I called him, I said, Brian, I want to suggest a change. Instead of next year when you're coming back, rather than Madison Square Garden, I'd like to do it in Shea Stadium. He said, Shea Stadium? That's a big one. How many seats does it have? I said, 55,000. He says, oh no, I don't want them playing empty seats. And judging from what Nat Posnick told me, 50 days times 2,830, I said, Brian, don't worry about it. I'll pay you $10. I think I've told you this in our conversations, David. I'll pay you $10 for every empty seat. He says, really? He says, if you're that sure, okay, let's do Shea. And that's how Shea Stadium was bought. And we filled it and turned people away, you know, the Beatles.
Pretty amazing, right? So now, over the course of the years that I was friends with Sid, I used to tell people he was like the grandfather I never had, and he would say, Big Brother. And so he would call me, I would call him Big Brother. He would call me Giant Brother. And, but I would introduce him to everybody because he loved meeting people. He loved, in fact, Jan is a regular on our gigs, Laurie's son. Jan goes all the way back to the podcasting days. He discovered me somehow on podcasting from Pennsylvania. And I would play these things. For a while, I was doing something called Lunch with Sid. And Jan actually made the trip in because he wanted to meet Sid Bernstein. I said, sure, we'll go to the bakery across the street. And Sid will get his favorite round brownie. He used to get this round brownie, I think, because if anybody said, hey, can you break me off a corner? He would say, no, sorry. No, I'm kidding. So Jan came in and met Sid, and I have a picture of that Jan sent me of Jan's dad when he came, I guess, to pick up Jan. And so Sid is there with Gus, Laurie's husband from Pennsylvania, and I'm sure now Sid and Gus are, having a round brownie someplace. Well, I'm not sure of that. I don't know, but it's a sweet memory. And then Sid's son Dylan, who I think Sid had 6 kids. The one that I got to know the best, the one that I got closest with, by far, is Dylan. And Dylan is a prince of a guy. And Dylan just yesterday or this morning sent me this photo of his dad when he was back in Shea, thinking about doing another event there. He's just never stopped dreaming, Sid. So anyway, I wanted to do this song. Before we keep going with the party, I have some really cool videos to share with you and some real cool history. But this is a song that I wrote. Sid died, it's 7 years ago now. This would have been his 102nd birthday. But he loved my music. He loved my lyrics especially. But I wrote Keep Hope Alive and gave him a songwriting credit on it. That was not his favorite song. This one, he never got to hear because I've written it recently. But I'm doing this because let me turn I just got to turn this thing off. Somehow I'm getting WhatsApp messages. Does anybody else do that? Get WhatsApp messages from groups that you don't want to be in? I don't know how to get out of it, so somebody's going to have to tell me that. It's a group with like 100 people in it, and the thing keeps dinging. Anyway, I wrote this song, and I think Sid would have really loved it. My friend Rhea is here. There she is. She was at Shea Stadium. If anybody else was at that concert at Shea Stadium, just raise your hand and say hi. Say I was at that concert. I know for a fact that Rhea was there, and she's got some great stories about seeing the Beatles up close. That's for another day. Let me do this song because I wrote this song about Rhea. I wrote this song for Rhea's birthday, and it's about my life, and I just know Sid would have loved this song. And then I got something to share with you from Lizzie and George in Brooklyn today. Let's just keep going. Oh, Dylan is here. Guys, Sid Bernstein's son who sent me that photo of his dad in Shea. Dylan Bernstein is in the chat room right now. So everybody say hi to Dylan. I was just telling these guys, Dill, that I know your dad would have loved this song. This might have been his favorite song that I ever wrote. David, no. What are we talking about? My favorite word is yes, so most of the time. Some people say the way I live is backwards. They don't know how a full-grown man can live this way. But if people say the way I live is backwards, then I'm aware that I don't care what people say. Some scratch their heads at my determination to live each day the way I truly feel. Paying close attention to my own imagination while imagining the best becoming real. Well, here I am. This is me, trying to live without regret, so you can bet that what you get is what you see. what we hold as true isn't always what it seems. I hope you love your life. Mine gets made in my dreams. Dylan, man, we gotta have coffee one of these days. Gotta catch up. Some people say I live my life like some damn hippie, and that day and age is gone and out of sight. But if a world of peace and love is what those kids were dreaming of, in many ways, those damn hippies had it right. It's not up to me to say that there's a right or wrong way. We're all free to live whatever life we choose. Or you'd be mistaken to believe that I am weak or I'm naive. Life is too damn short and there's no time to lose. So here I am, just standing in the light. Einstein said imagination is the strongest thing on earth, and he was right. 'Cause what we hold as true is almost never what it seems. I hope you love your life. Mine gets made in my dreams. I truly hope you love your life. Mine gets made in my dreams. You know what? Just demonstrating that Dylan is Sid's son. Dylan, I'm sorry, man. You know, it's funny when I say, everybody say hi to Dylan. Dylan, the choice could be just say, hi, everyone. But no, he's saying hello to everyone, just like his dad would have. Anyway, I was telling these guys at the top of this that most people had my relationship with Sid Bernstein backwards. That we were friends first and fellow dreamers, not even colleagues. We were fellow possibility junkies, but friends first. And I understand Dylan's mom and Sid's wife, Jerry, did not like musicians when I met her. And I don't blame her. Because of Sid, because of who Sid was, and because of his accomplishments, and because he was also willing to fail spectacularly, but how open he was to everyone. There were a lot of users and a lot of hangers-on and a lot of people who wanted something from Sid, and I think his wife Jerry just did not like those people, and there were a lot of them. But here was the thing: I said at the top of this gig, Sid is one of those people who just saw the good in everyone. People that I couldn't possibly find a morsel of goodness in, Sid would see the good in that person. And so a lot of these people, they didn't take advantage of Sid. They were just hangers-on and users. And Jerry, she hadn't been to a concert. This was one of my greatest victories in life, was that Jerry and I became friends. And because I liked her right off the bat, even though I couldn't get close to her. But then, little by little, I think I became probably her favorite musician on the planet, just because it was not about career. It was not about anything else. And so Jerry hadn't been to a concert. Ready for this? According to Sid, he told me she hadn't been to a concert with him since a Jimmy Cliff concert back in the 1970s. early 1970s. But she came to Merkin Concert Hall, to one of our something annual year-end concerts, and had a great time. It's also, if you look at the old footage of those concert videos, it's one of the only concerts that I'm wearing shoes on stage. Do you know why? Because Jerry was like, "Oh no, you can't be barefoot on a stage. No, no," and she was like, it upset her that I walked on stage with no shoes most of the time. So just for Jerry that year, I wore shoes. So if you see a concert video and I'm wearing shoes, it's because Jerry was in the audience. But let me share this with you guys, because Paul McCartney did, I think the guy, and Dylan could back me up on this, I think the Beatle that Sid stayed the closest with was probably John Lennon. Because John would call Sid sometimes, usually asking for advice about a restaurant if he was going down to the Village with, you know, Harry Nilsson or something. And John, of course, was all about peace and about love and about activism, and he knew that Sid was too. Again, that's for another show. Sid's commitment to social conscience. And so John and Sid got along in that way, but Paul, Sir Paul, would call once in a while. One time, just knocked Jerry's socks off because she didn't know it was McCartney. But later in Sid's life, when I knew him, Paul actually invited Sid to be at a concert in an arena in Philadelphia that fell on the anniversary of the concert at Shea. And it happened to be a Sunday, which was the same day as the concert at Shea. And so Paul had Sid come down and then introduced him to the crowd and asked the entire crowd to say thank you to his friend Sid. And that warmed my heart, knowing that many people. Let me just play it for you.
Hey, I'll tell you what though, one other thing. This is an amazing night tonight. I mean, we're gonna have fun anyway, but yeah, man. I'll tell you what, this is actually the 45th year anniversary to the day that the Beatles played Shea Stadium, August 15th. So we got something else to celebrate tonight. I know the great thing is, we have the guy in the audience tonight who brought the Beatles to America, Sid Bernstein. Want to say thanks, Sid. Want to say thanks. You think about it, he could have brought Jerry and the pacemakers. It wouldn't have been quite the same. Anyway, you know, the other trippy thing is, it was a Sunday, August the 15th.
Kind of cool, right? Kind of cool. Thanks, Sid. Oh, by the way, guys, is Brandon still here? Oh, Elodie in France has to leave. So long, Elodie. We'll see you again. So right now we've got France, the Netherlands, Leicester, England, and the UK. I didn't see Margaret from North Wales. Oh yeah, there's Brandon. But I know that California is here, and I know that the Carolinas are here, and Maryland is here, and Jersey is here, and all up and down the east side and west side of Manhattan. I saw Sweet Sue Hannah down in Battery Park. I'm all the way up in Washington Heights. Valerie's in Chicago. So anyway, so listen, and oh, by the way, if you're new here, if you're just watching this and you don't know what the hell's going on, just get in one of the chat rooms and say, hi, this is my first time. Because what we're doing now, and this was Brandon's idea, and it's a great idea. These things, these hangs are being brought to you, they're being brought to you, sponsored by, but they really truly are, the patrons at Patreon, who are the us, and it's just us. And when this pandemic hit, I asked them all if it was okay if we made these things public, and they all said, of course, everybody needs music, everybody needs a smile. So, but now that we've all kind of settled in, Wednesday's hang and Saturday's hang are going to be for everybody, just like now. Facebook, YouTube, right? But last Sunday, we had our first, and Lori is the one that came up with the name. We had the first edition of It's Really Just Us, and that's going to be amazing because on It's Really Just Us, you guys in the audience, you guys that are hanging out, don't have to be in a chat room. You can be if you want, but you can see and hear each other. Because we're mixing the technology I'm using now for the audio and video, so it's quality, right? I mean, it sounds good. And Zoom technology for the audience. So, like this is from Sunday. You guys, there's Brandon in the second box up top. He's in Detroit, and he's actually in the control room. He's also actually just going to be like a co-host because you can see and hear Brandon and myself. And on, if you look at these are the people. In fact, if you're in that audience right now, and if you're in that photo, just say hi. Say that's me. But my pal Dean is there. He's in Ohio. Valerie's in Chicago. Pretty Denise, look at him, pretty in pink. She's wearing that. Gretchen Cryer is there. Lovely Sonara is there from Brazil. Duval, who made it back to New York, is up in the top row. Willie's in Maine. I'm just looking over here at there's Frankie. Karen, who is a silver sun, got the silver sun setting in the back there. Cute Judy is there. It's just really, really cool. Sean in the lifeguard chair. Sharon and her lovely daughter are hanging out at the bottom. It's just really a cool idea, and that's going to happen every Sunday. So if you enjoy this, but you want to take it to the next level, Brandon will show you, give you the links and everything. Just go to Patreon and become a patron, and then you will get the invitation to those private hangs. It's not kind of cool. I kept saying, creative people are finding new ways to be creative, and fun people are just finding new ways to have fun. So that's what we're going to do. And by the way, if you want to support this, and you're new here, I'm not going to turn you down. Brandon also posts links. You can either use Venmo, or you can just click on the link to go to my website, or Brandon will show you. It's a direct link to PayPal. And like Willie always does every week, throw the price of a movie ticket at this show, and it will help me keep the lights on. It will help me pay Brandon, because this is what he does for a living. Surprise, this is what I'm doing for a living now, too. We'll get back to the birthday party. Because I also have things to tell you about our Something Annual year-end concert. For the first time in we don't know how many years, it's probably not happening. But we're going to do something spectacular online that's going to be so much fun. And a guy named Frank Beecham called me yesterday, gave me another wonderful idea for the Something Annual Year-End Concert. So, but we'll get to that. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do a Beatles tune. You wanna? Since we're celebrating, let's do a Beatles tune. And okay. And you guys, I don't care how. Denise came up with the idea of the emojis and different things for jazz hands that we do in Tom Cruise Scares Me. You guys do the brass section any way you want. Yeah, Drew, I was surprised you weren't in the Zoom hang, man. Anyway, let's do this Beatles tune, and you guys got to do the brass. You can do it by chatting it. See, that's the thing. In the Zoom, the private ones on Sunday, you can sing. Everybody can sing together. Not well, but we sing together. It's cool. Anyway, let's do this song. Find a way to do the brass. Either chat it or emoji it or whatever, and let's do a Beatles tune. All right, Richard and Elaine in Maryland, you guys set? Everybody ready? Nancy, Zoe? Chat the lyrics. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. There's nothing you can do that can't be done. There's nothing you can sing that can't be sung. There's nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. There's nothing you can make that can't be made. There's no one you can save that can't be saved. There's nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. Chat it. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All right, sing it. Here we go. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. There's nothing you can know that isn't known. There's nothing you can see that isn't shown. There's no way you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you... Are you guys chatting? All together now. Everybody. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. And on our Sunday private hangs, are George and Lizzie still here? Is Lizzie here? Because Lizzie and George did something so cool today that I'm going to share with you guys. But George is simply one of the finest songwriters I've ever met in my life. And I've had Grammy Award-winning musicians tell me this, that they've heard George at Merkin Concert Hall playing with me. And one guy in particular, Peter Fish, has more Grammy awards than I have socks. But and he years ago said that cat is one of the most versatile piano players and just a great rock and roll pianist. But George can be, in fact, maybe this Sunday. I'm going to talk to you guys. I'm not going to put you on the spot now, but George and Lizzie, maybe you'd be my guests this coming Sunday, because what we can do then is, while the audience is live, Brandon would be able to split the screen between me and you guys, and we could chat. We could have like a little interview and just kind of hang out. And then I could leave the screen, give the screen to George, and he could be our first guest artist. I want to have like Cassie Kubinski. I want to have Mark Aaron James. I would love to have Christine Lavin. She's been here in person, but I would love to have her remotely. So I'm going to start having guest artists. So we'll talk about it after the gig. I'll give you guys a call. And but if you're not a patron, you're going to miss it. This is something brand new, but we're going to do it every Sunday. All right. You know, I was saying before that that I had this idea back in the podcasting days of just not letting these stories just disappear into the ether. And so, I haven't seen my buddy Dean. Dean is a documentary filmmaker, and I swear he's sitting on a treasure. If any of you guys happen to have, $500,000 and you want to raise the money to do a documentary film about that guitar man from Central Park, now might be the time to do it, because we don't know what the future holds. And it's been 28 amazing years with all of you guys. I think you guys are the story. But Sid was one of you. He was one of the people on the Hill. And instead of letting Sid's stories just go, in the podcasting days, I came up with this thing I thought I would call Lunch with Sid, and let him tell stories. And he tells a story about John Lennon wanting to get tickets for a concert that Sid was producing. Do you guys remember an artist named Jimmy Cliff? Jimmy Cliff, when he hit, everybody wanted to go to his concerts. Eric Clapton and George Harrison and John, and everybody wanted to show up at Jimmy Cliff concerts because he was the hot new guy, reggae artist. I should actually do some Jimmy Cliff. What's wrong with me? Do you remember? Remember this? This is Jimmy. The harder they come, the harder they fall, one and all. Remember that song? The harder they come, the harder they fall, one and all. That's Jimmy Cliff. Oh, Jimmy Cliff was, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. That's Jimmy Cliff. So, John Lennon, well, let Sid tell the story. This is just fun stuff, and it's history, man.
It's been a long time, but I still remember.
Hey, this is David Ippolito. I'm that guitar man from Central Park, and I'd like to share something with you today. This is an idea that I have for a series called Lunch with My Friend Sid.
Sid Bernstein, for those of you who don't know, is a living music legend, and over the years he's become a fan of mine and a friend of mine, and now like a brother to me, and we speak on a daily basis. And he just shares the most amazing stories with me. I would like to share them with you. And I'd love your input. If you have questions for Sid, if there's something you'd like to ask him, I'll tell you all about that at the end of this little clip. This is just an 8 or 9 minute clip. Sit back, relax. Sid he just happened to be telling me about a time that he got some concert tickets to a Jimmy Cliff concert at Carnegie Hall that he was producing for his friend John Lennon, and something that John shared with Sid during intermission. I think this stuff is priceless. I want to know what you think about it too. So sit back, relax, and enjoy lunch with Sid Bernstein.
I went to school with art school, but he's at art school in Liverpool. He's here visiting, and he'd like to come with me. And I need 3 tickets. I said, John, the press has been so on me. Jimmy Cliff. Remember the name? Yeah. It was Jimmy Cliff. I've had such demand for this concert. It was that first one at Carnegie. I said, I'm all out of press tickets. He says, oh, I sure would love to see him. I said, I'll tell you what you do, John. Give me a call back. I remember saying, give me a call back later this afternoon, later today. So obviously we're having lunch or early dinner. I said, not tomorrow morning. I'll see what I can possibly do. Gladly, they gave up the 3 tickets. John calls me early a few hours later. It was the same day. Sid, any luck? I said, John, I'm surprised, but I'm able to help you with the 3 tickets. They'll be at the box office. Pick them up at the box office. And pick them up quickly, John, so we don't lose them. As if accidents do happen. And sure enough, he did. Now it's the date of the concert. A couple of days later, a few days later. So, at the end of the row, coming in from that end, it was about the 12th. I usually used to sit at the 10th or 12th at my concert, so the 5 seats were somewhere toward the front of the house, but not any closer than the 8th or 10th row. So his friend, whose name I've forgotten, his art school friend, sat at the end of the aisle. Next to him was a girl who turned out to be his secretary at the time, May Pang. John. The 4th seat, next to John, I chose for myself, and my wife, Jerry, on the left, had the 5th seat. Intermission, and these are words I'll never forget. John's asked me what I've been doing lately. In addition to I have my children and a job I obviously do, because I'd already brought a few of the first British groups that had become very busy. At that time I'd already done the Beatles, the Rolling Stones. My 3rd act in was the Dave Clark 5. My 4th act, I was banished from Carnegie Hall. So the 3rd act was not Dave Clark at Carnegie Hall, but at another venue that turned out to be the New York Paramount. And we're talking, and I'm telling what I'm working on. And John, how about you? What's going on in your life? He said, you want to know something, Sid? Oh, he didn't get up because he didn't want to be bothered by the crowd, for refreshment, or it was intermission. So we had a little chance to talk. And we sat there. We didn't leave our seats. And what about you, John? I want to hear what's new with him. He goes, you know, Sid, I just want to tell you. So I now knew him for a couple of years because it's a couple of years later that we were doing Jimmy Cliff. He says, at Shea Stadium, he says, I saw the top of the mountain. And I sort of reflected on looking at him closely. I said, you know, John, so did I. And that's how I felt. Shea Stadium was so unforgettable. The crowds, the press, the radio, the attention that I was getting. And I was not one of the four. In their lives, I might have been number 28 or 205, but the attention I was getting because I brought them now to Carnegie Hall the very first day, and then Shea Stadium a year after that. I said, so did I. That was very special. And it was. I meet people today, and because I'm still active, even as I get older and older, and the hair gets grayer and grayer, I meet people occasionally. I was at Shea Stadium. Now, Shea Stadium seats only 55,000 people, but in my travels since that first Shea, I did two at Shea, in 65 and 66. I think I met enough people to say it sounded like 500,000. But of course, a lot of people have said to me, I was at Shea Stadium. My answer to them is, you want to know something? You look familiar. And some of them think I'm serious, you know. So I have a lot of fun with that, even till today, so many years later. It's now 40 years later, 42 years later.
That's great, man.
Where I meet people.
That is so cool.
And I'm having so much fun with that.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying this? When we talk about this
I
stuff,
love it because it brings me back to my youth.
then you
As Joe Pesci told me to say.
Ute.
And my youth brings me back to my youth.
Then you know what? Let's do this again, and let's do it often. All right. All right. Because I have so many. Oh my God, you've told me so many stories over the years, and now you're
Now you want to know something, David?
sure.
Tell your friend over there. What's his name?
Adam.
Tell Adam. Where's he living? London?
Just outside London, I think.
Tell him to get ready because the best is yet to come.
Okay, man.
I'm working on that.
Okay, man.
In fact, I'm working on a couple of things. And you're involved.
So that's just a little taste of what I'd like this to be. I'd love to run some new young artists past Sid and see how he feels about their music. I'd love to hear questions from you, anything you have for Sid Bernstein, and just let him just tell us about his life and music. So go to thatguitarman.com, listen to I Love the Company, pick up one of the phone numbers, and let us know what you think, okay? I'll see you guys next time.
So let me ask you guys, just exactly what I asked Sid. Are you enjoying this? Is this the kind of thing you would like to do more of? I know this particular hang, I love playing music and, just sharing acoustic music with you guys. This particular hang, because it's Sid's birthday, is a little bit media heavy. A lot of video, a lot of audio. But are you enjoying this? Because I love sharing this stuff with you. Not everybody got to know Sid the way many of us did. Allie is in the chat room right now, and Sid's last birthday party was in her apartment. Anyway, Rhea got to know Sid, got to be very good friends with Sid, and she was a kid in that crowd at Shea Stadium. Let me do a John Lennon song. Let's do a John Lennon song. is actually supposed to be about live music, but I have some more stuff I want to share with you. People say I'm crazy, doing what I'm doing. Well, they give me all kinds of warnings to save me from ruin. When I say that I'm okay, well, they look at me kind of strange. Surely you're not happy now, you no longer play the game. People say I'm lazy, dreaming my life away. Well, they give me all kinds of advice designed to enlighten me. When I tell them that I'm doing fine, watching shadows on the wall, don't you miss the big time, boy, you're no longer on the ball. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll. No longer riding on the merry-go-round. I just had to let it go. I love this song. People asking questions, lost in confusion. When I tell them I've got no problems, only solutions. Well, they shake their heads and they look at me as if I've lost my mind. I tell them there's no hurry, I'm just sitting here doing time. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll. No longer riding on the merry-go-round. I just had to let it go. I just had to let it go. I just had to let it go. Oh, man. I love that you guys are here. Listen, but I'm very serious. I had to make being a patron back to being something special, because it is. Because the patrons are the ones who actually have been paying for all of this since the pandemic hit. And while I'm creating, videos like Believe It or Not, or Everybody Must Stay Home, or what did we do? Think, put a little love in your heart, right? And the dance video, Brave. While I'm creating all that stuff, I still am paying rent, and I still have to eat. And the patrons are making that possible. And we're making it possible for everybody to watch and hang out for free. So we're still going to do that because they're wonderful people. So Wednesday and Saturday, free for everybody. But if you want to be in the and it is really fun to be able to unmute people and have, like, we had Frankie ask questions and somebody would raise their hand, and it's just really, really cool. But you got to be a patron. So that's Brandon's gig is to let people know about that, and then he's going to break the internet and make it possible for the public to hear you guys in a chat room. And then we have something really special we're going to have to plan for the year-end concert, which I know is the second week of December, but you know what? It's like tomorrow. Here's the, remember what I was saying before? I kind of opened this gig by saying that my thought this morning was that this day, this gig, this hang, these songs, meeting Brandon at the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, the online thing, seeing Elodie sign on from France, and Chris in the UK, and Andrea out in California, and Lizzie and George from Brooklyn, having these guys send photos and stuff, and all of you sending videos. This is not what we're doing to get through to the other side of this. This is life right now. It is. And so it makes me think about things like Christine Lavin. And we're not gonna have time to play this. Again, there's so much. We'll do a gig again on Saturday, but that'll be more acoustic guitar and you guys. But Christine Lavin wrote a song. Actually, Hector, who is, I don't know if he's in the chat room. He might be on Facebook, and I can't see the Facebook chat. But Hector Mendez is a singer-songwriter, and he wrote a song that he sent me. He wrote a song about me, which is unusual for me. I'm usually the guy, it's usually going the other way. But he wrote a song about me as that guitar man from Central Park. And Christine Lavin, who is, again, a legend in the folk world, but she did too. But she wrote it from a perspective, you know, like when we're in Central Park, and we turn the walking path into a dance floor, and then even when I'm just sitting there singing, you guys are all singing with me, and sometimes we'll have to stop because a new couple, either a new husband and wife, or new partners, two men or two women who just got married, and that happens a lot in Central Park, almost every week. And then so if they happen upon us, right? If you've been out in Central Park, we stop, and I always invite them to create a moment where they can share their first dance as a married couple with all of New York, with all of you guys, and that you guys will all sing for them. And as they dance their first dance. I know they're going to a reception. There's going to be a lot of, and the bride cuts the cake and all that shit. But we always create this special moment. Christine wrote this song called First Dance, Last Dance. And when we're out in Central Park, and I always tell people, we didn't just create a moment. What we did, we created something so powerful. We created a memory that this young couple is going to be 93 years old someday. And when this young girl is a very old woman, and she's sitting in a chair someplace with the sun on her face, and she closes her eyes, she's gonna remember, well, like these guys, right? She's gonna remember you singing for them. You guys and their very first dance as a married couple. They're gonna remember that for the rest of their lives, that first dance. But then the way Christine wrote this song, and I'm not gonna play it for you because she's putting it on her next album, which is kind of thrilling, but she's gonna be a guest too, and I'll let her tell you all about it. But she wrote it from the place that there sometimes when I'm playing music, there might be an 8-month-old or a 1-year-old kid who's just taking their first steps, but they hear the music and they start to dance. That might be their first dance on Earth. And then there were other people that, on the other end of life, who are sharing maybe their last dance on Earth. Like, for example, I don't know if Debbie ever came back. We should be ashamed that she keeps ducking out. But Debbie Baum, who was in the chat room, was captured in this moment, probably by Sean Friedman and his camera. That woman in white is a woman named Helen. And she died the following year, and that is probably her last. Look at the joy on Helen's face. She loved being out there, and there were times when she could barely stand because she was so sick. But when we started playing the dance music, she would fight her way to her feet and come down and dance. And there's Debbie dancing with Helen, and that's probably Helen's last dance on Earth. Now, Sid, Christine wrote the song and included a baby dancing their first dance, a married couple dancing their first dance, and then she wrote about Sid Bernstein being out there, every week. Up until 2 weeks before he left this earth, 2 weeks, he was up there. At 95 years old, he was out there. And Dylan and his lovely wife brought him to the hill the very last time. We didn't know it was the last time, because Sid was just he was like a bad cold. He just kept coming back, which we loved. But he showed up that day, and we started doing, think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. And Sid had to get out of his wheelchair and dance with you guys. So she included Sid in her song. Now, when Christine was in the hospital, she wrote this song when she was in the hospital one time. And she wanted me to have it so badly, she gave it to her sister, who was visiting her in the hospital on a Saturday. Her sister came to Central Park to give it to me in the middle of what I was doing. And Dean, our documentary filmmaker friend, our Emmy Award-winning documentary filmmaker friend, was there with a camera. So I read Christine's lyric before I even knew what the song was. I just read it because her sister handed me this paper, and I read it. I'm going to share that with you, because then stick around. We actually do have Sid Bernstein's last dance here on Earth, and he shared it with you guys. He shared it with all of us at the Hill in Central Park. Oh, so this is a song, but she's not here to play it, and I don't know it. So she just wrote this, she said. Are you doing it?
I am recording.
Christine, if you're setting me up, I'm going to kill you. Because the hospital didn't. Okay. This is First Dance for David Ippolito, that's me, by Christine Lavin. There's a couple hundred people on the hill, dozens more strolling by. A cute, teeny, tiny little one-year-old catches the guitar man's eye. Looks like she learned how to walk last week. She's babbling her own brand of baby speak. She wiggles and giggles, bopping up and down. Slowly, slowly, she turns herself around. She's dancing her very first dance. Look at her swing and sway. Her helicopter parents watch her from 3 feet away. The guitar man's music inspires her. She loves to watch him sing and play. She's dancing her very first dance in Central Park this Saturday. There's a man and a woman from Sweden. She wears a veil and a long white dress. He's in an officer's uniform. They just said, I do, I guess. And they stumbled upon the guitar man, who instantly becomes their wedding band. As the people on the hill join him in a song, as the newlyweds dance along. They're dancing their very first dance, as husband and wife today. 100 strangers sing an Elvis tune from 10 feet away. The guitar man's music inspires them to swing and sway. They're dancing their very first dance in Central Park this Saturday. Then there's a bridge. Then she says, this is the bridge. Saturday afternoon is the only time this will happen. You're in luck if the sun is shining and it doesn't rain, because then people from around the world will be smiling and clapping. They come together to sing with the guitar man again and again and again. He brought the Beatles to America. He brought the Rolling Stones too. He touched the lives of millions. That's what visionaries do. Now he's sitting in a wheelchair over there, but how he loves the city. He loves the city air. And being part of the crowd on this hill, where every week, through sheer will, he's dancing his very last dance. In his mind, he swings and sways, lifted by the power of music as the guitar man plays. He left his mark on this planet in his own indelible way. Now he's dancing his very last dance on this summer Saturday. So maybe this is your first dance. Maybe it's your last. Maybe you like a slow waltz. Maybe you like it real fast. When you hear the guitar man playing, that's your cue. The world is calling and it wants to dance with you. The world is calling and it wants to dance with you. I can't wait to hear the song now. Thanks, Christine. You have to come out and play it, right? Christine's got to come out and play this song. Oh boy! And by the way, that's Dylan Bernstein helping his dad dance his very last dance. And he shared it with us. Thank you, Dylan, for bringing Dad out that last day. I know you probably couldn't have stopped him. He would have gotten on the damn bus. All right, listen, guys, we've been doing this for about 2 hours, but we still have a few more things that I want to share with you for Sid's birthday. One thing is this song that I wrote, and I wrote it for people like Sid, and I wrote it for people like you. It's one of the only songs I'll ever play to a track. I wrote this, and I think Sid would have loved this song too. I've met people everywhere, some from here and some from there. By now I'd bet it's more than quite a few. Nearly every woman and every man I've met just does the best they can to understand the things we all go through. There are those who just don't care, who try to grab more than their share of everything, and they're all out there too. But I don't take for granted I'm a man who gets to spend his time with people in this world like you. Yeah, I think George is gonna be our first guest on Sunday. So often it can seem today, so many feel like it's okay to celebrate the darkness in our hearts. And then they wonder why we see such hatred and disharmony. To me, that's just exactly where it starts. And for others, fear can hide the way, sadly unaware that they allow it to dictate the things they do. But I've no reason to despair, as long as I still know that there are people in this world like you. Like every single one of you in the chat room right now. So nice to share a birthday like this with you guys. Let's listen to George. And Chris Tedesco. God, I love music. I guess things are just the way they are. In many ways we've come so far, and still I'm sure we've all got more to do. But I can open up my heart and say I'm grateful every single day for people in this world like you. Loving people in this world like you. All right, just two more things before we get out of here. Because Lizzie and George actually made a trip out to Green Lawn Cemetery. They live in Brooklyn. And they went out there for Sid's birthday. You know, you guys sit on that grassy little hill, and you know me, I created the Church of I Don't Know. I don't know what happens after death. If it's comforting to you to think that Sid's watching us right now, have at it. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Maybe our consciousness disappears. We know our energy doesn't, but who knows, right? But it's nice that George and Lizzie went out there today to that hill. It's a grassy little hill where Sid's headstone is now. I wrote "Keep Hope Alive." That was not Sid's favorite song that I wrote. I wrote a song called Next Time Around. And Sid, now again, it's another whole show. Just Sid's relationship to my song, Next Time Around, is another whole show. I could fill 2 hours with just Sid and that song. But How many people in the chat room right now know what this is? Tell me in the chat room what that is. Actually, Paul, you know, you're right. I've got so much. You know, and the truth is, years ago, in 1991 and before, a lot of you know I was a failure as a human being in every way you could possibly be, mostly because I was just a drunk. But when I first, when that all changed in 1992, there, Denise is the first. Yes, Emmett, yes, for all of us, it's One More Time Around the Sun. Sid used to sing out loud and completely unashamedly, he would sing, "One more time around the clock." And and when we would do that song in concert, especially if Sid was in the audience, and to this day, we still do it, we will sing one verse one more time around the clock instead of around the sun. Oh, Brandon's got to get out of here. Brandon, thank you so much, man, for everything. I'll share some of this shit with you privately. Everybody say goodbye, Brandon. But listen, I got a couple of more things to share with you guys, so we're going to fly without a co-pilot, and then we'll all hang out in the chat room for a little bit, because since we left Crowdcast. But Brandon, I'm so glad you're on board, brother. Honest to God. It makes this gig so much more anxiety-free. It makes it more fun for me. And we went long, but it's because it's a lifetime, man. Debbie, I don't know if you were here. If you missed, I shared about you're sharing probably Helen's last dance on Earth with everybody, and I don't know if you realize that you're dancing and you both have such joy on your faces, but you were probably sharing Helen Brackett's last dance on Earth with us. Anyway, my favorite song, Sid's favorite song was Next Time Around, right? One more time around the sun, I hope we find our way. Again, it would be another whole show, just Sid's relationship with that song, but Sid's last concert on Earth was with us. It was at Merkin Concert Hall. And he wanted to sit, well, by that time he was in a wheelchair. So Allie, who is in the chat room right now, she sat with him in the balcony in a wheelchair accessible seat. And we knew he was up there, so we all sang the song for Sid. And in the darkness, you can see this hand going, because that's what Sid did. One more time. And I want to share that with you, because it was Sid's last gig. And it was the last time it was one of the last times he sang this song. That's what I want to share with you before I get to the George and Lizzie treat. But enjoy this, all right? Sit back, enjoy this, crank the volume. This was a Merkin Concert Hall show. And he was asked what his two favorite songs of all time are. And he said, Imagine by John. And that song that David wrote. He doesn't remember the words, the title, and nobody does. But this is the song he was talking about, and there'll be a part for you to sing. And since he's here tonight, would you guys just sing it from the really with all your heart? And there'll be a part where you guys are singing with them, and I'll just sing the third verse. Cool? Cool. This is going to be your part. I'll teach you first, all right? One more time around the sun, I hope we find our way. Good? Okay. It's a time to see things clearer, at least that's what they say. But I make time for the mirror every single day. 'Cause when I look away too long, where I go wrong can be too much to bear. I've made choices that I'm proud of, and at times I've made a mess. Achieved all kinds of failure and some genuine success. But I own every moment. I look back at where I've been, but I don't stare. 'Cause there's always one more lesson to be learned, another pearl of wisdom to be found. And the hope to do a little bit better, and maybe get it right next time around. Here we go. One more time around the sun, I hope we find our way. I know how it feels to give my heart, and what it feels like when it breaks. I've known full-blown happiness, and I've made my mistakes. I can take an honest look inside, but only if I'm man enough to care. There was an angel with the softest kiss. We shared a passion that was so amazing and exciting, and then we let it go. Reasons I won't soon forget. When it comes to love, that second chance is rare. If there was such a thing as a king of foolish men, at times I could be crowned. I just hope I do a little bit better and be a better man next time around. Are you gonna sing it with me? Here we go. One more time around the sun, I hope we find our way. You guys keep singing that, all right? Each time we make the choice to be compassionate or cruel, it defines what kind of ride we take upon this tiny jewel. And when the roadblocks start appearing, we've got to keep on steering with our hearts. Oh, 'cause time is an invention to help us try to make sense of an endless string of fleeting moments filled with mystery and love. Though foolishly we try to mark eternity each time a new year starts. And now a simple man can share a simple wish with you. That's nothing too profound. I just hope we do a little bit better and maybe get it right next time around. It's for you, big brother. Here we go. right? Oh, a lifetime. All right, guys, listen, I just want to share a couple of things with you. First of all, is Chris still here from Leicester, England, in the UK? Is Chris still here? Chris, if you're still here, say hi, all right? So I want to share a couple of, one is, of course I've got one framed and hanging on the wall, but Sid, of course, signed my little thing here, and at this point, he was just making shit up. So I'm not going to share with you what he wrote, but it's just priceless. And by the way, see Karen there, Karen Asconi, with all the hearts and stuff like that? She's on stage. She was on stage singing that song. She was the second one in. I don't know if you guys recognize Karen. That was Cassie Kubinski, Karen, a woman named Margot, and of course, Teresa Reynolds. Oh, Chris had to leave. Oh, shit, because I wanted to share. He sent, I'll have to share it next time he's here. He sent me he makes shirts, and I wanted to do a commercial for him. These beautiful tie-dye shirts. All right, next time he's here. Somebody's got to remind me. I want to do a commercial for Chris. Anyway, okay, so listen, guys. We celebrated a birthday, again, for this young, confused-looking child. And you think about it, at that moment that photo was taken, in 1918, or probably 1919, by that photo, I'm going to say, no one could have any idea that this little dreamer was going to change music history, affect the world in such a way, and affect my life and your lives. Oh, no kidding. It's Drew, it's your birthday. Did I miss that in the chat room? Happy birthday, brother. I didn't know that you share a birthday with Sid. Oh, that's so cool. All right, we'll do another show next year about your birthday. Happy birthday, Drew. Sid wrote, I'm also a David Ippolito fan. Oh, that's Sid. That's Sid. Allie will tell you guys that in the last years of Sid's life, he was on the mat and counted out by doctors a couple of times. And I'll let Allie someday, when this pandemic is over and Allie comes to the studio, I'm gonna, during our Zoom things now, on Sunday, we can highlight Allie's box. I'm gonna let Allie tell the story of how we would sometimes, the two of us would visit Sid in the hospital. The year before he died, they were counting him out. He spent another entire summer on the Hill with us in Central Park, but all the doctors thought, this is it for Sid. Say goodbye. And it probably could have been, except for music. I'm gonna let Allie tell the story, because it is kind of remarkable. And it might have something to do with that song. No, I shouldn't say it might have something. It has everything to do with that song. How Sid spent another whole summer with us in Central Park, and it was because of that song. But I do want to share this before we get out of here. We're talking about first dance, last dance. I want you to look at the joy, the thoughtfulness, the embracing, and the joy that this man derived from music and from all of you and just from being alive, just from people, this might be Sid's last song, but I'm going to share it with you on his birthday.
Foolishly, we try to mark eternity each time a new year starts.
And now,
And now a simple man can share a simple wish with you. That's nothing too profound.
and then we got to sing it.
Just hope we do a little bit better, and maybe get it right next time around.
All right, here we go.
Next time around.
Ready?
One more
Time
around the sun. I hope we find our way.
Yeah, man.
find a way.
We have found
One more
Time
around the sun. We find our way.
Okay, you're solo.
One more time around the sun. I hope we find our way.
Yeah.
One more time around the sun. I hope we find our way.
So yes, we're gonna do a moon shadow for. We'll do moon shadow for Drew's birthday. But I want to share something that George and Lizzie. You should know that. Excuse me a second. You know what doesn't go away? Listen, we're all, none of us are getting out of here alive. Not me, not you, nobody. I write songs about that shit. But, you know what? You know what doesn't go away is the love. And yes, you know what? So we're gonna do, we'll do Moon Shadow for Drew's birthday. But you guys should know, it's silly, but Allie and I, it was actually Allie's idea. When Sid was buried on that grassy little hill, we went to our hill, and I dug up some dirt from the very place where I stand, and I've been standing for 28 years. So we filled up a little cup with some soil from the hill, and we brought it to Brooklyn, and we left it with Sid. And then we took some dirt from Green Lawn Cemetery on his little hill, and we brought it back and then buried it right next to the roots of our mulberry tree so that that gets absorbed into the tree. So there's a little piece of the hill on his hill, and there's a little piece of his hill at our hill. And if you look at his headstone at the base, it says, of course, have an egg cream, because that was Sid. But George and Lizzie, now I started out this gig by saying today is not a bridge to tomorrow. Today is not a way for us to get through until we can start living our lives. Today is our life. And we're doing this, and it's Sid's birthday today. And so today, George and Lizzie went out to the cemetery, and then they sent me, we live in such an amazing age, they sent me a photo. That's from today. And I can't think of a, my big brother Sid is not there. He's here. And he's there. And he's in the video, he's in the music. He's in our memories, he's in our hearts, he's in our stories. And so that's why when I wrote this song, moving through the sorrow, letting go reluctantly, when I thought of each tomorrow that you wouldn't share with me. Some said you're in a better place to help them face the fact that you were gone, that you moved on. But I tell them I know better, because almost from the start I knew there was no better place for you than in my heart. Still they said nothing lasts forever, everything must have an ending like a song. But I know they're wrong. Though some may think it's poetry, one amazing truth I've found. In the most real way, you're here today. If I just look around, I saw you here today, and you caught me by surprise. I was hanging with our friends, and I could see you in their eyes. And we all laughed when we remembered things you used to say. And it's okay, 'cause you weren't far away. I saw you here today. Yeah, I remember yesterday, the sunshine and the tears. But nothing good that's in this world completely disappears. So I'm not crazy when I recognize those moments that I still run into you. 'Cause I know it's true. Now it's far from me to understand some plan or grand design. I'm just a small piece of forever in a never-ending line. But I saw you here today in the circle of our friends, and in the way we tell our stories now, your story never ends. You took so much love with you, but you left so much behind that now I find you're not just on my mind. I saw you here today. I know that you're okay, 'cause I saw you here today. So it's finally time I sat right down and wrote you all a song. Such a simple thing. I'm sorry that it took me so damn long, 'cause I love singing in the sun for you, and I pray I always will. I'm proud to sing this song for the people on the hill. And you know who you are when gentle souls share nothing but goodwill. The happy, singing, fun, loving people on the hill. And I'm so proud to sing this song for the people on the hill. Happy birthday, Sid. Okay, let's do this for Drew because it's his birthday today, and this is his favorite song, Out on the Hill. So let's just all do it, and then I'll see you guys in the chat room. I hope you truly enjoyed this. And I hope a bunch of you, if you're not, become patrons and hang out with us on our private ones on Sunday. I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my hands, lose my plow, lose my lands, oh, if I ever lose my hands, oh, I won't have to work no more. If I ever lose my eyes, if my colors all run dry, yes, if I ever lose my eyes, oh, I won't have to cry no more. I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. If I ever lose my legs, I won't moan and I won't beg. Oh, if I ever lose my legs, oh, I won't have to walk no more. And if I ever lose my mouth, all my teeth, north and south, yes, if I ever lose my mouth, oh, I won't have to talk. Did it take long to find me? I asked the faithful light. Or did it take long to find me? And are you gonna stay tonight? I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow. Happy birthday, Drew. I'll see a bunch of you in the chat room. Somebody tell Chris we tried to do a commercial for him. We'll do it next time. Thank you so much for showing up, guys. I have a feeling this was a special gig, and it felt like it. So let's do more. What do you think? It takes a life to realize what life is all about. Good night, Nancy. Life is all about this moment. I'm here with you now that we're through. What stories did I tell? Did you get to know Sid well in this moment? How fast these gigs fly. Song after song goes rushing by. I won't pretend that time has been our friend. I bring my songs to sing my songs for you until the end. And as I live these days, I'm grateful for all the ways that brought us here to praise this moment. This moment. How soon, too soon, the seasons fly. I see my life go rushing by. I only hope that time will be your friend. We live a life to live a life of love. I know you see. I know you all agree. 'Cause you're hanging out with me. But I only guarantee this moment. If, like Drew, you never got to meet Sid, in all those years he was hanging out with us, I hope this little gig here, this little birthday party, made you feel like you know him. As just one of you, just one of the people on the hill, because that's what Sid enjoyed most. And that's what I enjoy, is that when we do these things, yes, I'm a songwriter. Yes, I'm a playwright. That's what I'm meant to do. That's what I do with my life. It's how I make a living. It's how I pay the rent. It's how I buy food. It's, right? But truthfully, I love getting to do this with my life. And Sid felt the same way, which is probably why he was a terrible businessman. So if you can, I hope you will consider, and if you are a patron, please try to invite friends, because these Sunday hangs are going to be really something special. I'm going to contact George and see if he wants to be the guest on Sunday. And I had some other thoughts about Sunday. Allie telling this story about Sid and that song. So, but before then, I will see you on Saturday at 4 Eastern. They're all at 4 Eastern, all right? So I'll see some of you in the chat room. Play your own music, and so I don't get any copyright shit. And I'll see you over there. Guys, thank you so much. This did so much for me today. I had such a great time. I'll see you on Saturday.